MB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports, where we're here on this Thursday evening. And I'm with my usual Steve Lopes and Derek Sasho.
What's up,
Hey,
everybody?
what's up now?
I'm back after a 2 weeks hiatus. It seems like forever, but I'm back. Had some.
Brian was caught gambling in a radio station stuff.
Yeah,
2 week suspension.
I had to suspend myself.
He bet on the Cowboys.
Yeah, he better.
I had to suspend myself. So, but nevertheless, I'm back, and we got a quite interesting show today. We've got a live guest that's going to be on. And
When you say live, we mean he's live.
we mean live.
More ways than one.
We mean live.
Live and legendary.
And this is pretty much a continuum from last week. So if you guys watched last week, you know that we had Dwayne Peener on, and the gentleman that we are going to interview, he is his name's Matt Good. He's the former coach at MCI Maine Central Institute, and he was a coach for Dwayne.
No, he coached
was
at
Brian.
At Brian,
He got
I'm sorry.
Dwayne in the coaching
I'm
pretty
sorry.
much.
Dwayne caught on through him.
Okay. Yep. That's what it is. We're gonna have him on live in a few minutes. Also, we're gonna talk about some boxing news. Canelo's 3-fight mega deal that's gonna be happening. And it has a lot of implications because a local may be included in that 3-fight.
Yeah, if you don't duck him again.
Boo Boo Andrade. So we'll talk about that. Also, we got to talk about NBA free agency. We know that's happening. Some breaking news just before we got here in the way of James Harden, plus others that are following. And we'll also talk about the NFL, some suspensions going on in the way of gambling.
More to come.
More gambling, PED suspensions. So we're going to be finding out more. Also, we need to talk about a young female. Her name is Alyssa Thompson.
18 years old, fresh out of high school.
Yes.
She's a problem.
We're going to talk to her. But what we need to do is you need to get him back on. We need to talk to, we're going to be talking to the coach. Might be having some technical difficulties. But we're going to be talking to, remember, as always, phone lines are open 774-425-2631 to get in the topic, to get into discussions with all the topics, that is. And remember, you can always find us on Facebook, as well as by downloading us on all platforms, the Android and iPhone platforms. Okay, so please do that, and you can be on the go, all that good stuff. So until we wait for Coach to get back on the line, we'll start off talking, I guess, some NBA free agency. Until Coach gets back on the line, we can get him on the Zoom. So we'll talk about the NBA free agency. So as you know, free agency begins tomorrow. All right. So a lot of guys need to make some decisions about what they're going to do in regards to final years, opting out, player options. And just as we were setting up, lo and behold, one happened. One
Kind of surprised me.
James Harden pretty
option?
much opted in, and I didn't even know. I was unaware. Like I said, I was here setting up, but they picked up his option. But apparently, they're going to trade him.
Yep.
But there's a lot that goes into it in regards to, you know, who can give him the most money, how he can make money, because as I was telling both Steve and Derek prior to us getting on the air, there is a rule,
Oh, there he is.
which is the over 38 rule, in which he went out.
You just gotta put a picture in.
An over 38 rule in which but you can't be over the age of 38 and get a max deal. But we'll get back to the NBA free agency. We're going to get the coach on right now. And voila, there he is. Hey, what's going on, Coach?
Not much. How you doing? Is Pina going to be on here too?
He's watching the interview on
live.
on Facebook Live.
He's critiquing you.
Well, that son of a bitch couldn't critique rubber duck racing about
We interviewed him last week, and right away he told us that you were getting inducted to the MCI Hall of Fame. So congratulations on that.
No, I'm in 5 Hall of Fames, and you know what that means? That means I'm an old son of a bitch. That's exactly what that means.
Well, it also means that you're doing something right because they just don't put anyone in the Hall of Fame.
Yep, leaving
Well,
your mark everywhere.
well,
So, Coach, give us a brief overview of your coaching career. Where did you start at?
well, I went to Eastern Kentucky University, and I started at a high school right there in town, Madison High. It was a small school. We had 110 students in the 9th through 12th grade, and we were ranked 4th in the state. They don't have classifications like single A or double A or triple A. Everybody plays everybody.
Wow.
And we were ranked 4th in the state. And like I said, we only had 110 students, but 52 boys. But we had the right 8 or 9.
Nice. So, okay, once you left high school, where did you start in college?
I went to Eastern Kentucky, where I'd been. We played. I'm sure you probably heard of Darrell Griffin, but Louisville Male, Wade Houston was the coach, and we played them. They were ranked 1st in the state, and we played them. And the coach from Eastern called me the next day. I thought he was going to ask me about one of our players. What he indeed asked was, would I be interested in coming to Eastern as an assistant? In which, of course, I was.
So that was a major adjustment going from high school with only 110 kids to going to Easton was a Division I program, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So what was the biggest challenge making that transition from high school to college? Like the recruiting or?
No. Well, coaching is coaching. I don't care what level it is. It's like I always tell people that, Michael Jordan didn't need a crowd of 40,000 people to play. If he was playing the pickup game in Boise, Idaho, he was trying to kick your ass.
Yep.
And coaching really is coaching. It's getting the most out of your players by hook or crook.
I like that hooker crook. I do like that. So also, in regards to, can you give us some overview as to how you met Dwayne Pina?
Well, I was at Bryant, and my top assistant, Brian Keefe, came and knocked on my door one morning at 9 a.m. And I knew he wasn't coming to deliver groceries. And because he came in, he said, Coach, I got a chance to go with the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow.
And I said, well, you need to go because I'm firing you.
Make it easy.
Well, yeah, I didn't want him to feel like, oh, you better think this out. No, that was a no-brainer. I mean, I should have been arrested for adult abuse if I hadn't allowed him to go. And he went with my blessing quickly. And then, as luck would have it, I was going to New Bedford to watch a kid in a workout. I think it was the coach's son at New Bedford.
Ryan
Rodrigues.
Rodrigues.
Yep. Coach Roderick's son, Ryan.
Yes. And Dwayne was the one working him out. And to be honest, before the workout was over, I was more impressed with Dwayne than I was the kid. Although the kid was impressive. But Dwayne really put him through the paces. He did it quietly, too, without having to scream and holler and cuss like I do because I'm ignorant. He got the most out of him, and I got thinking, boy, this is almost too easy. Well, I offered him the job at Bryant, and he accepted quickly and came, and he was with me, I don't know, 6, 7 years, 8 years, I don't know.
Didn't you pick up Nick in that workout?
Nick who?
Nick Ponce.
Nick Ponce?
No, I'd recruited him all summer.
Oh, okay.
I'd seen him play a lot, and I thought he had a lot of potential as a scorer. And and he was an undersized 5 because he didn't have the foot speed to guard a 4.
Yeah.
But I knew he could score. He was clever around the basket and could use both hands.
So prior to obviously you seeing Dwayne there, obviously you were unaware of his basketball background as
A
to
little
where.
bit,
Yeah,
because I was close with Bill Cohen and Al Skinner and oh gosh, Tim O'Shea. So they told me something about him. I didn't check around much, so because I heard quickly that he was a high character person, which he is
Mhm.
and was and is.
Still is. Yep.
Very reliable, very dependable, hard worker, quiet, knew how to be a good assistant, knew when to speak and when not to.
absolutely.
He was brought up the right way.
Yes, he was.
I believe he said he didn't even have any aspirations for coaching until his chance meeting with you. Like, you're the one that gave him that push to get into coaching, and he found out he had a new love. He said, "Oh, I can do the coaching thing."
Well, no, he was a natural. He's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Is he
Well, went to
listening?
BC.
Yes, he
Yeah, he's
is.
listening. He's on Facebook.
Well, I don't want the son of a bitch hearing me telling me saying he's smart.
Too late. We unfortunately we can't edit. It's already been said. But the type of person that Dwayne is,
He just chimed in.
yeah, he just chimed in and said he's here. The type of person that Dwayne is, it'll go from one ear out the other. He's
humble.
low key, humble,
He's humble.
and everything that you're supposed to be.
Well, it's a damn good thing because I got after him some. Not much. But I want to tell you an interesting anecdote, though. One night we're playing in an important game up at Bentley, and we're up 13, and they hit a 3 to cut it to 10. So I jumped up and I said I was going to call. I wanted a timeout. Dwayne said, "Coach, no, we're getting a automatic timeout here at the 12-minute mark." And I said, "Well, I sat down. I didn't, it was against my best thoughts, but anyway, I didn't." So we missed. They could come down. We missed. They come down. They hit a 2 to cut it to 8. And so I jump up. I'm getting ready again to call it. Now it's about 12 minutes and 28 seconds or whatever. And then we come down, miss. They get down and hit a 3. So they cut it from 13 to 5.
Wow.
And I jumped up. I said, timeout, timeout, time to fuck out. And I turned and I gave Peanut the finger and said, "And fuck you, Peanut." I mean, it was in front of a packed house, and I think it embarrassed him some, but he knew I really cared about him, and I loved him and do to this day.
Sometimes tough love is good love.
Well,
Tough love is good love.
I think that's one of the major problems with so many young guys or young players now. People don't get after them nearly enough. And like I told my wife, I'm retired. I'm 82 years old, and I said, I wouldn't mind getting a high school job around here. She said, "Have you lost your mind?"
You last a month.
She said, "Hey," she said, "you'd be fired before the national anthem was over." The first national anthem. They
You would be
wouldn't put up with that stuff you come with now.
These
You
kids are
couldn't
way
get
too
away
soft.
with that.
you would be on the
Yeah,
you would
go
be on the
ahead. I'm
front
sorry.
page. You would be on the front page of all the all the social media outlets
Well,
as a crazy coach.
and can I tell you something? I get calls virtually every day from former players thanking me for being on them so hard, and they said they love me now for what they used to hate me for.
Yeah.
Because everywhere any one of them went, I told them I would be really, really disgusted if I found out it was harder there than it was, at MCI. And consequently, people would recruit our players because they knew they could take an ass chewing. Another interesting story, John Thompson's watching a junior college player, George Butler, and he was at a junior college in Texas, and he said he was looking at another player really on the other team. He said, damn, this kid's pretty good. Where's he from? Well, they mentioned during the telecast that he had played at MCI for me. He said, oh, call him. Excuse me. Call him. He said, if he played for him, he'll have no problem here at
That's
Georgetown.
what's pretty interesting because when we looked up, your background information, I particularly took a liking to the Karan Butler story. And it was amusing, but it fits exactly what you're saying about not coddling kids, holding them accountable. I work in a high school now, and none of that happens. We're not even allowed to raise our voice at them and stuff like that. But you have to make people earn their way. And the story I read said you recruited Karan Butler, you went to pick him up. You wouldn't even help him pick up his bags. He carried all 5 bags. And you said, hey, let me get something straight. He said, we were 35-0 without you last year, and I don't remember seeing your name on the roster. So we don't need you. So either you're coming here to work hard or you can turn around and go home right now. And he said that lit a fire under him and let him know he better not mess around. Don't waste this opportunity. But that's exactly what he needed at that time.
Well, I think it's what a lot of kids need.
Dwayne?
Everybody calls them. Everybody's afraid that a kid's going to leave. The best way to keep a kid is tell them you don't care if they go. The best way to get rid of them is beg them to stay.
Oh, yeah.
But we do. We're making cripples of so many kids, and it's made coaching miserable because they have to bite their tongue all the time. And I didn't have to bite my tongue at MCI because I didn't care if they came or not. And I told him that. I told Cron that before he ever came. I said, I don't give a damn if you come or not.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, you're on the air.
Oh, we got a caller live. Caller, speak up.
Coach Good. What's up, fellas? How you doing? Dwayne here.
Coach, can you hear him?
Unfortunately.
Oh.
No, I just wanted to call in and I appreciate you all for the platform. Appreciate Coach Good for tuning in. Mentor of mine, friend, love that dude, and I'm enjoying the show, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are also enjoying it. I'll let you get to the Quran story though, but I just wanted to call in.
He says, as long as you don't call timeout.
Yeah. No television timeouts are allowed.
You ain't waiting to the 12-minute timeout.
And fuck you, Peanut.
In quotation.
Yeah, the thing was, I was out on the floor about 10 feet, and it was packed. Bentley was totally packed.
Hey, let me give you one. Let me give you guys another one, because I don't know if he's going to remember this one. But we had just got back from, I don't know if it was Christmas break or something. So this was right around 2007. And it was a Sunday, and everyone had just flew in. Sunday night, we had practice at like 6 o'clock. We were having a great practice. It was around 8:15, and we usually would go for 3 hours or so. And there was like 1 or 2 turnovers, but generally speaking, it was just a good practice. Coach Good goes berserk. I mean, like DEFCON 9, like nuts. Kicks everybody out of practice. Everybody, get the fuck out of my gym.
On a good practice?
Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm staying away from this guy right now. He's on one. So we leave, we walk out the gym, we're walking up the stairs. I'm like, Coach, man, like, you good? Like, I thought we were having a good practice. He goes, God damn it, Peanut, it's Sunday, the wire's on. I got to get
a fan of the wire.
Oh, big time.
God damn, the wire's on.
Best show ever.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, man.
It's still good to this day.
Yeah, you can watch it at any time.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I just about 4 years ago I binge watched the whole series, all seasons.
Yeah, but you don't end your practice to go watch The Wire.
Well,
Coach does.
Contrary to belief, Coach Good did.
Hey,
you didn't want to hear it secondhand from nobody.
Hey, when Omar got shot in the thing, he was one of my favorite characters. Him and Ruthie and Ozark are 2 of my favorite characters ever. But anyway,
Ruthie, yeah.
I called my wife and I said, "You won't believe this." What? I said, "They shot Omar. He's dead." She said, "What?" I said, "They shot Omar." She said, "The character on what is wrong with you?" I said, "God damn." I said, "This man's a legend.
Yes, he is.
This man's
Yes,
a
he is.
legend." And he was a great, great actor. You know, they said he was high a lot of the time when he was acting, but he always showed up and he always knew his lines.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought he's a brilliant actor.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I loved
was.
his
He was.
character.
His character in that show. Not to mention he had a couple other. Dwayne hung up. Not to mention that he had a couple of other leading roles where he played excellent parts.
Oh no, no, he brilliant guy. He really, he was really good. I was really upset when I said, why would they put him out of the show? But it was late. It was like the fourth year, I think, or the fourth year of the series. But still, I didn't
Contract
like it.
talks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it worth a damn.
All right, Coach. So as I understand, you're being inducted into yet another Hall of Fame. In which institution is this one going to be?
Oh, I'm not aware of it. I'm in five, like I
Oh, okay.
said. And, like I said, you can give that all to being old.
So five. Can you name all five still?
Yeah, Bryant, New England Hall of Fame, Bryant Hall of Fame, NCI Hall of Fame, uh, Maine Hall of Fame, and Maine Basketball Hall of Fame.
I counted six.
Well,
Maybe
I
this Sunday is going to be 6.
well, no, I don't have six. I've got five, which is five more than I deserve.
Well, like I said, you've obviously done something right because they just don't put ordinary Joes inside the Hall of Fames.
Well, I'm
Um,
less than an ordinary Joe.
well, that's how you see yourself, but others see you far above that. It's funny because when you listen to a lot of people speak, they don't speak highly of themselves. They let their whatever they've done in the past speak for it, and your credentials speak for themselves. You don't have to sit there and lament how well or how good you did something. Your record speaks for itself. What can you tell us your winning percentage?
I don't know overall, including everywhere I've been. I know at MCI it was 290 and 25.
Didn't
290,
lose much.
290 and 25.
Yeah,
290.
That's over 10
25.
years, right?
Yeah.
And we played almost no games at home because we were really good. And where, MCI is up there. It's not in Portland, for
Mm.
example. It's up the state. It's north of Bangor.
Oof.
And yeah, it's up there.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we don't want to keep you and hold you. The entire. It's a beautiful day outside, and just to keep you there sitting there in your seat. We want to let you go out and enjoy the rest of the night. But we appreciate you for coming on and sharing some knowledge and we wish you nothing but the best and hopefully you get into another Hall of Fame.
Well, I hope not, because I'll have to live a few more years longer to do that.
Ah,
No, but we appreciate you here at WMB1 Radio. When Dwayne told us that he had someone special that he wanted to put on, we were more than happy to get you aboard and get you on to be interviewed.
Well, you're not going to have to go off the air because of my language, are you?
No,
Wow.
no,
yeah,
no. This is
internet
internet
radio.
radio.
Satellite
This is a
radio,
great
brother.
thing. This is a great thing.
Well,
Internet radio.
I always tell people I was extremely well brought up. My parents, I couldn't say hell or damn in my house when I was
You're making up
21.
for it.
But exactly, I've managed to overcome that good upbringing.
Well,
For sure.
like I said, we thank you and we appreciate you here at WMB1 Radio. And who knows, maybe we'll check in on you again.
Where are you located, by the
We
way?
are we are located in New Bedford, Mass, in the
Okay,
downtown area,
okay.
right in the
Dwayne's
downtown,
hometown.
Dwayne's hometown. Yep.
Yeah, I was watching two of Heron
Mike and Chris.
speeches. Chris Herron's
Chris
speeches.
Herron, yes, he's a motivational speaker now. Yes,
That's an amazing story. I was at UNLV when he came out and spoke to a tribute for Jerry
Terry
Tarkanian.
Tarkanian, yes, his former coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he was a rival here. Durfee and New Bedford had some legendary games, man. That's the biggest rival in New Bedford.
Yeah,
was a big
Dwayne
guy.
said he was an incredible competitor.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
he was.
yeah.
He was.
Incredible.
And as incredible as he was, the former player that he played against here at New Bedford always seemed to beat him, and actually won back-to-back state titles in his years while he was at Durfee. New Bedford won back-to-back state titles. What was it, 92, 93? Or
Yep.
93, 94?
93, 94.
93, 94.
Marcus Wills.
Marcus Wills, yes. He went to Maine. What was it? Maine, University of Maine.
He went to
Maine.
Maine,
University of
Maine, Orono, yep.
Yep.
Yes, he did. I've seen him play.
Yes. Those two went at it pretty good during they were in,
No,
yes,
Chris
was
a
1
year
year
ahead.
older.
Yeah.
Chris was a year older.
Yeah. Penis said he was fearless, but he said his brother wasn't nearly as talented, but was probably more people
Physical.
were more afraid of him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, he said Michael was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike was a big kid. Mike was about 6'3" and about no, he's not.
He's only
6'5". He's
6'5".
6'3". He was about 6'3", about 200 pounds in high school. That's huge. You're talking about kids typically that even if you're 6'3", you're barely 170 pounds.
Yeah.
He was 200 pounds, and all of 200 pounds, if not more, with an exceptional handle, and he had the ability to go inside or outside. Where his brother was just naturally talented, gifted, could jump
More
out the
athletic.
gym,
Yeah, more
could
athletic.
jump out the gym, could shoot. There was a huge contrast in the players, other than obviously than their names, but they were like night and day as far as talent. The way I
Well,
see
too many players put mega emphasis on athletic ability. It's important. Don't get me wrong. And I laugh because some of the young guys say Bird couldn't play today. Come on, hey,
yeah,
Luka Doncic and the Joker. The Joker is the best player in the NBA and has been. Should have been MVP 3 straight years. And he can't jump. Now, he can run. People say he can't run. That's crazy. He can do that. But he's the most unique and unorthodox superstar I've ever seen.
Yeah. This was going to be one of our topics, and we can touch on it lightly with you to get your opinion. But there was, obviously the controversy was brought up by Dennis Rodman, who went out and made the controversial statement saying that if Larry Bird played in today's NBA, he would probably be in Europe somewhere. Just that statement alone is asinine because all of the good Europe players come over here now and dominate.
Right. And ask any. You can get on. You can get on and watch player after player after player talking about how much. Well, Shaquille O'Neal and Gary Payton and on and on and on talk about how Bird was the biggest crap talker and was scared. They were all afraid of him.
Julius Erving, yep.
Well, they were afraid of him because they said he could beat you. He would predict where he's going to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go over here.
I was just telling a story because obviously it was a huge trending topic the beginning of the week. It had Twitter abuzz, and so everybody was chiming in, and they were putting different stories up with, like you said, different NBA players. And one that really caught my eye was a game in which he played against Portland. They were on a West Coast trip, and Larry had dropped 42. And he had dropped 42 all with his left hand. And they said, Larry, why were you shooting left? He said, I'm saving my right for the Lakers.
Yeah.
But to be able to dominate left or right and tell people what they're doing and you still can't stop it.
Yes. So that was
he
that
used
was
to he wore Dennis Rodman out.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, oh yeah. So
Dennis Rodman couldn't guard him.
yeah. So I was telling Steve on Twitter, there was all kinds of highlights of him abusing a whole bunch of people, and one of them it was a 5 minute tape of how he abused Dennis Rodman in the Eastern Conference Finals when they played against Detroit, and then to take it a step forward, they showed him abusing Scottie Pippen. Okay, this was supposed to be another lockdown player in Scottie Pippen's second year when they played against Chicago, and it showed him in one play, literally he crossed him and made him fall on both knees. I'll
Yeah,
have to look
I
that up.
saw Bird play in high school. I
Oh
saw
wow.
him play one game in the Kentucky Indiana All Star Series, and to be honest, he wasn't that good then. But after he left Indiana, he came home and he worked on a garbage truck. And there's a state prison nearby, French Lick, and he would go over and play against the prisoners. And I guarantee you, that's where he got his toughness and where he got his, you know, his trash talking.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Um,
No, he's there's just story after story after story where he's talked to people. The only one he didn't was Jordan.
Yeah, no.
It,
Mike, they were at opposite ends of their careers. So Larry was pretty much three-quarters done with his career, and Jordan was just starting to come into his own. Um, but it didn't make a difference because at that time it was more of a team thing. Jordan got the 63 in the Garden, but the Celtics got sweep. Um, but it wasn't, they were far apart. They were at opposite ends of their careers. But getting back to the original point, Dennis Rodman of all people, when he played, he was primarily, I won't say he was at the peak of his career, but he was a young guy. He had 4 years in the league. So for him to make a statement, such a crazy statement like he wouldn't be able to play is foolish. You don't get
well,
you don't
he,
get three MVPs in a row because you're not a good
right,
player.
right. Well, I think the biggest tribute to Bird is I think the year before he got there, they were like 23 and
Yep.
59 or something. The next year, they go like,
They had the record turnaround.
they almost, yeah. And he was the only difference in the team.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He
Exactly.
made other players better. He made other
That was what
players
I was just
better.
going to say. Not only was he a great individual player, but he increased the talent level of everybody around him.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. Um, okay, Coach, we'll let you get on with your evening. And like I said, it was a pleasure and an honor to have you here on our show. And if you get a chance, you can listen in. We're on every Thursday night here at Straight to the Point Sports. We chop it up with different people. We talk old school sports, and all that other good stuff. So you can listen in.
Well, I apologize for my language. Now, frankly, part of that I'm sure Pina told you ahead of time I was
Oh
crazy.
yeah, he gave us he
Yeah.
gave us a
That's
disclaimer. Don't
that's
worry
why we
about it.
want. That's why we
So,
wanted.
so I got to live up to that to a certain extent. If you've noticed, the last few minutes I haven't said a single cuss word. So
It's
anyway,
fine. We're on internet radio, so it's
We're
well,
not
it's all
thank
regular.
you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
thank
Yeah,
you, and
Thank you
appreciate
for
you.
being a part of our show.
have a great night. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. So that was Coach Max Good, former coach at Maine Central Institute, and he was one of the coaches who actually got Dwayne into coaching.
Yep.
He was also
Um,
a coach at Bryant University.
yep.
And one year he was a coach at UNLV when he went with Bill Bano, and Bill took sick, and he coached UNLV for 1 year.
Yeah.
So-
So a great guest. And we're not bothered at all by his verbiage. Like I said, it's internet radio, and we get to pretty much do whatever we want. We're not bound
I
by
think I
any.
said where's that Steve a few times.
Yeah. These two guys are, they've got into some heated debate, so no problem at all.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
But he touched upon something we've mentioned throughout our shows over the years is the difference between the old school style of players and now, even with us. He said he couldn't coach in today's thing, and that's so true. As great of a coach as he was, they would hold him to a higher standard about his morality code than his coaching ability.
Him, Bobby Knight.
Yeah, all those old school guys.
I don't even think Dean Smith would be able to coach.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to ride somebody hard because you're worried about upsetting somebody.
Yeah, you know the bar has gotten different. The line has been pushed forward, and no longer can you do the things. I mean, a prime example of that would have been Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
You remember Bobby Knight grabbing
Him,
the kid,
Jim Valvano, all those guys.
through the chair.
throwing the chair is not bad, but you know,
Choking
but that's not a kid.
Yeah,
That's not grabbing a kid. You do that in today's society, as I said, you would be all over social media like
getting charges pressed on.
yeah, and you would be one of those guys that are trending on social media, and you would be in deep doo doo. It's just one of those things. It's the way coaching has changed. What was the coach? Was it Penn State? Who was the coach that grabbed the kid by the face mask and threw
Woody
him?
Hayes, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
He had to
that's
resign right after.
Yes. Now you remember how
On
long
the
that goes.
sidelines.
You remember
But he
how
grabbed
long,
somebody from the other team.
Yeah, but you remember how long ago that was,
Yeah.
right? In today's society,
Early 80s.
oh God, you'd be all over every single outlet.
It's overregulated and it's gotten too soft.
It's but you know something. I like to attribute the times to our parents because our parents, they told us stories and how the bar was moved. And if you can relate back to your parents' stories and look back to your stories and look where we're at now, it just keeps moving and moving and moving. And that's just the evolution of time. I can honestly say I appreciated all my coaches during my playing career. Each one brought something different to the table and helped the journey along the way. And I can honestly say I got some tough love from coaches. I got kicked in the pants a few times. I got slapped across the head a couple of times. And I could honestly say even up to the age in my 20s, playing down at Summer League. If anybody knows Dave Houtman, he doesn't have small hands. He doesn't have small hands. There's a few times he's like, better than that, and cut my whole head. And I'm like, hey, what's going on here?
Not to cut you off, but congratulations to Dave Houtman, who just retired this past week.
Oh no, he's
been retired. That was a memory.
Was reposted.
That was a memory.
He retired
that was
in 2016.
Yeah, that was a memory.
Oh, damn.
That was
Look
like
at you,
5 years ago or 4 years ago.
He's been living that good retirement life.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was just.
It was a memory that came up. I did see that. I looked at it too, and I'm like, wait a second, hold on. And I looked, and it was a repost. It was a memory. It was actually his anniversary. That's what it was. I don't want to say 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, so coaching has evolved, and I can honestly say I just threw my hat into the coaching realm this year. I coach freshman basketball over at Dartmouth High School, and I can honestly say I caught myself, a couple of times wanting to say things, and I had to hold back because we're in a different time now.
Yeah.
We're in a different time, and how you speak to kids isn't the same when I was coming up. It's totally different.
Same in Pop Warner football. You gotta know what to say, how to say it, when to say it.
Yeah.
And who to say it to.
Exactly.
Because some kids can take it, some kids can't.
Yes.
JoJo in football.
Yes.
Robbie in basketball.
It's all about.
See, when Robbie did it quiet.
He did it
JoJo
quiet,
was
but he was serious about it. Yeah.
He let you know, but he did it quiet.
And in a funny way.
Yeah.
Robbie was a funny dude, man. He'd criticize you in a funny way.
When he was mad, he would talk to you calmly.
Yeah.
But his point got across.
Yeah. Whereas his brother Joe on the other side would probably threw you down to the ground. And,
just like the difference between the Herons, same family, different personalities.
Together, them two guys.
Yeah. But what we're trying to say is everybody has their own coaching style, and it's just you find a happy medium as to what works. And for Coach Good, at his, during his time, that's what worked. That's what resonated amongst his players, and
And like
it's good.
and like you said, to this day, he's still getting calls from his former players.
Oh yeah,
thanking him for the stuff that he did to them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's why Caron Butler's presenting him at the Hall of Fame induction this week. But he had 11 players that went to the NBA, and he said he never treated anyone any different than the other. He told them the same thing. Like I'm here. I'm going to be good with or without you. If you want to come, get in line, follow my way, or get the hell out of here. But people sought him out. He said he didn't have to recruit as much because people wanted to come play for him. Because if you could play for him, and he mentioned it, John Thompson, all these other, oh, what? You play for Coach Good? Oh, this would be a piece of cake over here. And we thought those guys were fiery.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on. We started to talk about NBA free agency,
Mr. Harden,
and we started to get into it a little bit before we had technical difficulties with Coach Good. So we cut it short. So we'll get back to it. So NBA free agency. To dive back into it. As you know, NBA free agency begins tomorrow. A lot of guys had some huge decisions to make on whether or not they were going to exercise that final year and opt out and become free agents. For some of them, it makes a lot of sense because it makes a lot of dollars, right? We know that. For others, not so much. Case in point, we were talking and we talked about some of the top free agents. Obviously, Kyrie Irving is one of them, right? So he opts out, and obviously because he wants more money. Let's call it for what it is.
Hopefully wants to do more work.
He opted out of his final year to become a free agent. Dallas could offer him the most amount of money because of the bird rights. If you don't know the bird rights, it's basically states that the team that holds your rights at with the new contract. So this goes back to his time in Brooklyn. So when he was traded, everything came with him. So they own the birds rights to him. They're the ones who can offer you that extra year with more money. All right. Typically, it's a fifth year, and it exceeds the fourth year probably by about $10 million. It just adds on, and it gives the incentive to stay with the team that you are, as opposed to jumping to and making a super team. So Kyrie Irving, case in point, he owns Dallas owns the rights to him with the bird rights and can offer him that extra year where he can make extra money. So what he's looking at is 5 years, $272 million. All right, from Dallas. Any other team, 4 years, 201. All right, so if you're a mathematician, you see $71 million
left on the table.
So no matter what Kyrie says, or how he tries to geek people, like I said, you don't have to be a mathematician to know that there's $70 million being left on the, in that 1 year, basically. Dollars make sense, and would you leave that money on the table? No. So his next best thing is to say, hey, listen, I can sign with you, and maybe you could trade me down the road. That is a possibility. I don't think in his case, I could be wrong, but I don't think Dallas would want to go that route.
No, they gave up way too much to get him.
Exactly. It's
not for nothing, but today, right before coming here, they were talking about Kyrie was talking with Phoenix.
Yeah,
he could talk to
they don't have the money.
Wants. He could talk. Yeah, they don't
they'd
have
to
the
trade Ayton in that
they'd have to trade a lot to get nothing because they already have. I mean, yeah, they got what's his face, Bradley Beal, but as far as I believe that they're already in the luxury tax as it
$169 million
as it stands. So if you were to add Kyrie, you would have to package at least 3 to 4 guys, with Ayton being the central piece to make the money match. Now you're back to square one, no depth. It's a wish list, but when it comes down to it, I believe Dallas will be in the driver's seat.
They have no choice.
Yeah.
With everything they gave up, where are you going to be if you don't have Kyrie? You gave up Dinwiddie and the 3-and-D guy there, Dorian Smith. you gave up too much of your core to get this one guy. Now you don't have that young core, and you don't have that established veteran.
Yeah.
Luka's going to be very upset.
So he's one of them. James Harden, in which we started to touch on before we switched over to coach, is another one.
That one surprises me though. Why opt in if they know you're going to trade him? Like, does he already have a destination in mind that can only afford the $36 million?
Well, there's that goes into it. So what we had talked about, what's the difference between James Harden and Kyrie Irving? It's age. All right. James Harden is going to be 34, I believe, in October, or I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I know at some point this time it might be next month. I don't know, but he's going to be 34, and they have a rule when you're signing 4 to 5 year max deal. It's called the over 38 rule,
Which I never knew about till you pointed out today.
All right, it's the over 38 rule. Let's see if I still have it here. If I can still find it. Let's see.
Yes, so they can't defer money way down the road long after your playing days.
It'll be 34 August 26th.
August. Okay, so I knew it was August, October, something like that. Okay, over 38 rule, limiting their max offer to 4 years instead of 5, with the salary cap in play. This could severely skew the numbers in play. If they do manage to keep him, the max that they could offer him would be 46.9 per year and include an 8% annual rise. So he cannot go to the 5th year because of that over 38 rule. It was the first time of me hearing that too. I didn't know. I had to look it up. So that's what the difference between he and Kyrie. Kyrie can get that 50 year because he's a lot younger and he doesn't fall into the 38 at the end of his 5 years. But that is something to look. And the first response from Steve was, well, what about LeBron? LeBron only signs 2-year deals. Something he is actually doing what Michael Jordan did at the end of his career, which is smart because
keep up with the market.
You're not outsourcing or outpricing yourself. Basically, what you're doing is you're keeping yourself in the market. And let's just say you got MVP. It's 1-2 year deals with a player option. Let's say the team falls flat on their face. I'm going to opt out. I want to go somewhere else. You leave all your options open. At the same time, you're in the marketplace. So that's what LeBron's doing. Other free agents that we're looking at as far as
should they stay or
should they go?
Well, Chicago signed their big man back, which I was surprised. I thought they were trying to move on from him.
All right,
I don't know how I feel about that.
So another guy, Draymond Green.
He don't know what he wants.
Draymond Green wants to stay with.
No, his relationship with Curry is a lot stronger than I first was led to believe.
He wants to stay with Golden State, and I believe Golden State. You know what tells me that Golden State wants him? What they did with Poole.
And what they did with the general manager, because the general manager wanted to move on from him, and they knew they had that dissension with Poole, and they let both of those talents walk in order to keep Draymond. Why? Because Steph Curry had the final say.
Yeah. And
Klay Thompson. So
basically, they want to keep their big three intact. Yep. And I don't think the thing with me with Golden State, the thing that I think a lot of people see is the progression of those younger players was stunted. Kuminga, Poole,
Moody,
all those guys. The one that got traded,
Wiseman.
They were thinking that they were going to progress and help out Steph and Draymond and Klay and help preserve their careers by their talent level rising. That has not been the case. If you notice, it started with Wiseman. Often hurt. Getting up to speed, learning. The learning curve was a little difficult for him, I think, in Golden State, and just the overall expectations. And for as high as the draft as he was a lottery pick, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
As high as
Wiseman was the number 3 pick in the whole draft. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about.
So was Moody and all those
You're
other guys.
you're looking at guys who were lottery picks, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and they're not coming up to speed. They're not having the impact like they should have where they were drafted. So I think that when all was said and done, I think that the organization as a whole wanted to stick with the original big three, and let's try to get pieces and put them in between and try something else and see if we can make another run at a championship. I think their number probably is 2 years.
Well, what do you think about this? The whole thing about the general manager leaving probably wasn't just on the Draymond Green decision. He was the guy responsible for identifying all that talent. He brought in Steph and Clay and Draymond. He was getting all the credit for picking the right people. But it seems like the last 3 or 4 high-profile people he drafted, they didn't work out. And we just mentioned Wiseman, Moody, Poole was actually a second-round pick. But they had somebody else they drafted up high. And it seemed like Kuminga, yeah, all those people were all top 10 picks, and none of them worked out. So maybe they felt like Bob Myers was losing his touch, identifying with the younger player. And then he took a stand wanting to move on from Draymond Green. They're like, look at your track record with these young guys you just drafted. And you want us to continue going that? None of those guys panned out.
Yeah.
More
free agents. Russell Westbrook.
Has he made a move?
No. So he's going to be part of, I think, so the next person that I'm going to mention, I think will start. We've already seen Harden. I think the next guy to determine the market is going to be Fred VanVleet.
Yes.
Fred VanVleet is interesting. He's an undrafted. I'll say that again. Undrafted.
From Wichita State.
Okay. Yeah. G League phenom to the NBA All-Star champion. And now he's in a position where he pretty much can
demand opted out of some decent money.
Yeah, he opted out of his final year to explore other avenues and at the same time get a pay increase, because that's what it's all about. I don't care what anyone says. It's all about making money.
He got the one championship that he probably wasn't expecting.
No.
Yeah, the Kawhi one, right?
Yeah. So the thing now is he could kill 2 birds with 1 stone just by opting out. Just as simple as that. So I think I think VanVleet is the next person that's going to tip the scale in the way of guards.
Well, guess what? His name's come up the most. I don't know if you've heard certain teams, but now with the Harden situation, they're saying Philly because Nick Nurse is his old coach.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about that is another small guard.
Well, Maxi's not small.
Yeah,
but Maxi would move to
Maxi is small. He's not a big guy.
Isn't he like 6'3"?
Yeah, he's 6'2". I mean, you're gonna play against you get against the bigger teams, and you're gonna be playing against a lot bigger than that. I just don't like Harden. What is he? 6'5", 6'6"?
Oh yeah, he's a big guy.
6'5". And not to mention, if you lose him, a lot of people forget he led the league in assists.
He can score from anywhere.
He just dribbles the ball too much, man. People stand around and watch. That's the big knock on. And he disappears in the big games in the playoffs.
The thing is, right? So you seem to forget that he became the second oldest player at 33 years of age to average 20 and 10. The oldest, obviously, LeBron James. But that says a lot, seeing that everybody sees him in the way of a scorer. All right. Now, obviously, you're going to have to tone your scoring down because you're playing with Embiid. But just think about it. If they were to lose him, you're losing a double-double. You're losing, first and foremost, the points, but then you're also losing the assists. That's hard to come by. That's really hard to come by. To get both, in that both of those categories up there, that would be hard shoes to fill. Someone like a VanVleet probably could give you, on a nightly basis, 15 to 17. I don't think he's going to give you 10 assists, though.
But I think the ball flow movement will be so much more improved. I think if they let Harden go or they trade him, I don't know what they'll get back. But I think they let Tobias go
well,
or trade him,
that's what I'm
and then
getting at,
they
because
get 2 more people.
so
He makes 30-something million a year.
yeah, he's Barry, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's high 30s, $37 million
Barry, what's your
a year.
boy make? I know you're not a big Tobias Harris fan.
So this is the thing. This is the thing for me. If I'm looking to improve my team, I think I move on from Tobias, and with that 30-something million, go out and get yourself a couple of guys.
Yeah, 2 guys at 20 million each.
Go out and get yourself a couple of guys. That's what I think. Not to mention, in my eyes, he disappears too much. He was crying, I guess, at the beginning of the week, saying that they don't use him right. And he disappears and all that. He took a shot at the fans.
He signed 5 years, 180 million, so 36 million a year.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said 37 million. So this is the thing. Would you, as a Philly fan, I'll ask you that. I'll ask you this, Barry. What would you rather keep? Would you rather keep Harden and move on from Harris, or keep Harris and move on from Harden? I'm more inclined. I'm more inclined. Yeah, you can't do both. It's either or. And
they should get something back for both of them, because
Harris is younger, right?
Yeah.
He's younger, but
Harden opted in, so they still own him. They can trade him and get something. And Tobias Harris, they still got another year or 2 left on his contract, so they can trade him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more inclined to keep Harden, but they've made it obviously clear that they're going to sign him and trade him, which is a little surprising, because
where though?
Yeah,
I heard the Clippers come up.
So listen, if you're going to go to the Clippers, you're giving up either Kawhi or you're going to give up George.
That's what they said. They're going to split them up, because as talented as they are, they're both hurt too much. So they want to get another player who they feel is, available. Your favorite word, availability.
Yeah.
So
Barry is saying that he wants both of them gone. Barry, so if you want both of them gone, let's get this straight, right? Who are you going to get to sit in there and take those spots? Now you get rid of both of them. That's a huge reset. Huge reset.
Well, what other free agents are going to be free agents tomorrow?
Okay, so I got the list right here.
You
okay,
figure out
I got the list.
I heard they said bring back Seth Curry.
Yeah, Seth
he's
Curry.
Only making $10 million right now.
So in the guard spot and forward spot, there's not much at that level. You're talking about Chris Middleton, who's going to re-sign back with Milwaukee. And then Brook Lopez, and then everybody else is you're talking about our tiers below that.
Oh, Jeremy Grant,
who was with Detroit,
free agent with Portland right now. He
Portland.
was with Detroit.
Oh, he got traded.
He got traded to Portland.
Yes, that's right.
Portland, he's not even that old, and they're talking about a youth movement over there.
No. Well, yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's young and he does everything.
Jeremy Grant, but let's be realistic. Would Jeremy Grant bring those numbers that
better than Tobias Harris?
Than Tobias.
So you would replace his role directly.
Right, but if you were to do a swap between those two, but if you get Barry's saying both of them.
Well, you
between
start
the both
with
of them.
that.
So
if you can get Jeremy Grant, I like that idea.
So between the both of them, you're losing 35 points, 36 points.
But Jeremy Grant
probably
give you 20 of those.
He'll probably give you
what? With Embiid?
Well, I
think he'd be the second scorer if you got rid of Harden and freaking Tobias Harris.
So where does Maxey go?
Maxey would get an uptick, but I think him and Grant would both.
Maxey's the third scorer. Right
yeah,
now,
he's
right?
the third. Yeah, he's the third.
You don't think he becomes the second scorer?
I think him and Grant are pretty equal in what they contribute. They do it in different ways. One from the guard position and one from the forward position.
The only thing that you're losing,
and it would be cheaper.
The only thing that you're losing is neither one of those players, I think, can bring the obviously the oomph and which James Harden brought. I don't think either one of those guys can break you down as he does.
Do you think that's where the
I don't think not even Van Fleet. Van Fleet's a good shooter. He's not going to break you off the dribble consistently. He's too small.
Too small. No other guards,
and he can't finish in the lane. That's what I'm saying. It's about who's available. Now you have to
be a trade.
You have to look for a trade. All right. You could. All right. So Barry was asking me what I thought about the Porzingis trade. Okay. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that I love the trade because I really don't. Until I see Porzingis play more than 1 year in a row. He's had a lot of injuries.
Unicorn.
He's had a lot of injuries, and the scouting report on him is pretty simple. Okay, you get him in a pick and roll. You get him in a pick and roll, and he doesn't move his feet quick enough. When he was with Washington, a lot of his blocks, what people are like, oh, he got so many blocks. He was at the rim. His weakness is you get him out in space, and that's where he does not flourish. Can he shoot? Yes. And a lot of people are like, oh, wait a second. That was with Washington. Do you honestly think he's going to get, do you think he's going to get 15 shots a game? I don't think so. I don't think he'll be able to get 15 shots a game.
That just tells me he's capable of giving you that, especially with Boston's stretch offense. You know, their big men were shooting a lot. Horford, I don't know what Horford's role is going to be. So I think he becomes more of a prominent role than what Horford was doing.
No, Horford's role is going to remain the same. Horford would now probably, on depending on who they are playing against, you can use either or as a starter and come off the bench.
Yeah. So he would assume the starting spot.
I would look at it this way: if you were to play against a heavy pick and roll team, you use Horford. If you're playing against a team that isn't, then you put Porzingis in.
So what's the prognosis on Horford? I know last I heard he was talking about retirement.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything in the way of. I haven't heard anything in the way of what he's going to do. So we don't know. I
hope you make a decision quick because you're kind of holding the team's advancement or plans for the future hostage. If you he already had the draft, but free agency's upon us.
But the thing with him is, I think they've already got a plan in place, and that it's not like, oh, we're going to be counting on Al. I think as the years go on, I think his time is going to be diminished. Even this year, I think his time is, if he were to remain with the Suns, I think it's going to be even slash more. Where, like I said, you'll see him coming off the bench a lot.
No, he's gonna have to come off the bench. He
shouldn't
start.
No, he shouldn't.
Even if you don't, even with the Porzingis, he shouldn't start.
No, you'll see him coming off the bench. You'll see him coming off the bench a lot. And you're still going to see Rob in there. I think Rob. I still don't think Rob was 100% healthy. I don't. There was just a lot of times where he seemed gimpy, and I think maybe a full year removed from the operation, I think might do him some good. But Porzingis, do I love it? No, because now let's say Horford isn't there. Who becomes that person that becomes the leader inside that locker room? Tatum isn't that guy.
Neither is Brown. They don't have that alpha dog. That was my only complaint about the two Jays, that neither one of them was a leader and could carry the team.
Unless we see something that comes from within this year, I don't see anyone.
Maybe one of them will emerge without Brown being there. I'm sure that was discussed.
As the team that they have right now, it would probably be someone like a Grant Williams. But past that, I don't see anyone on that team that could assume that role.
And you got a relatively new coach. So where's the assertiveness and the leadership coming from that people are going to respect? Horford's the only one.
Them two assistant coaches.
Yeah. But as far as
you can only do so much coaching, from the sideline. It has to come within. Somebody has to take that role.
Step up.
That's
all I'm saying. Somebody has to step up.
Somebody has to be the vocal. And let's face it, as much as I hated sometimes when Marcus Smart took shots, I love what he did.
Toughness,
the toughness.
Defense.
The toughness. Let's face it, he was their enforcer. He was the defensive glue that held the team together. Anything that he did from there was extra. I don't care what anyone says. He always, in some way or form, started, a lot of their comebacks, a lot of what they did with his defensive tenacity.
Yeah.
And that's going to be missed. I mean, you don't give up a defensive player of the year, and and in return, for a guy you may only have for a year and a half, 2 years. It's just so. What I think the Celtics they were thinking that yes, their shooting is going to improve. They may take a hit defensively. They're hoping for the best by saying, "Oh, he had so many blocks," or whatever the case is. But when it comes down to it, can Porzingis can only play one spot. Yeah. Marcus Smart played 1 through 5,
and it looks like now with the health situation of Brogdon. The point guard situation's up in the air.
Yeah.
So who's going to emerge as the leader from the point guard? Because we don't know what Brogdon's health status is going to be. What is availability? So
Well, I still
Van Fleet go there?
No, I still they couldn't afford him. I still believe that White is going to be the starting point guard now.
By default.
Yeah, he's going to be and then Brogdon will still assume the six.
White was the starting 2 innings, wasn't he?
It depends. It depends. Some days it would be Smart. Some days, because if they went double bigs,
Brown playing
if they had double bigs, that you're talking about Horford and Williams starting together, and you don't know. It was almost by committee as to who was going to start or who's going to come off the bench. It was different every game, every series. It changed. But for me, like I said, I wasn't totally thrilled about it. For me, it's going to be a wait and see. But I look at what the Celtics probably were saying, and you got to remember, Smart was the most tenured Celtic on that team. He was the old man, the original old man. We know Al is older, but he had the longest tenure. He was going on his ninth year.
Came back.
He was drafted.
Yeah, original draft pick. Yeah, he was going on his ninth year as a Celtic.
That many already?
Yes, he was going on his ninth year. So, am I totally thrilled about it? No, I'm not. I'm not totally thrilled about it. For me, it's going to be a wait and see type of year. Defensively, they're going to. I know for a fact they're going to take a step back, and offensively they might thrive, but will it be enough to get that balance? And if the powers should shift in the way of someone like a Damian Lillard going to Miami, then it could pose a big problem for the Celtics, because you're going to see a lot of that pick and roll from the left to the right with Jimmy, with Dame. It'll be all over the place, and that was one of their biggest weaknesses. And Porzingis can't help you there.
Nope.
He cannot help you there. So we'll see. So to answer your question, no, Barry. I wasn't that thrilled with it. So we'll talk about the last guy, your guy, Brook Lopez.
Well, him and Middleton, but you think Middleton's a foregone conclusion?
I think Middleton
he just wants more years.
Yes, so I think Middleton is probably going to stay. They'll probably give him, it'll be his contract will be one in which he'll get the 4 years, and it'll be top loaded, and then it'll work its way down. Granted, with his injury, but still, yet they know that they have to keep him. But for me, I think Lopez is just as important, because of the fact that between him and Giannis,
who's the other big?
Giannis.
I'm saying other than them two.
Bobby Portis, who's only 6'8".
Yeah, no. So, but just think about it, right?
They got Robin Lopez.
You've got 7. No, no, they don't have him. They gave up on him the year before last. He's playing somewhere else. So just think about it. You've got a 6'11" guy and a 7-footer. And that poses a huge threat when you come driving in. And furthermore, look at what he was shooting at the 3-point percentage.
And
that
his
was
rebounding.
And
he
his
was
rebounding.
one of the top 5 or 6 rebounders in the league.
So
and he can pass.
So
and he played D.
There's a huge threat, because there are a lot of teams out there that could lure him away.
Well, his last contract was 3 years, $36 million.
He's gonna far exceed that. So it depends
on. I mean, he's getting a little older, but how long I would give him another 3-year contract at like $18 million a year.
Well, that's what Steve would do. But I think someone like the Houston Rockets, who have money to spend.
But he did say on his interview yesterday he wants to go to a team that's ready to win. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuilding. That's the only reason.
Money talks, bro.
That's why.
But he's made money.
That's why he's leaving Milwaukee.
No, his contract's up.
Well, yeah. Well, he knows he could win, but he knows
just wants to force their hand.
He knows that they can win, but he also knows that once it's all said and done, that's going to be another team who's going to be in the luxury tax.
None of the NBA analysts expect Middleton or Lopez to leave, but I'm afraid of losing Lopez more than I'm afraid of losing Middleton.
Yeah,
because if we lose Middleton, there's other people we
I
can go after the
I
fill in the blanks.
I honestly think Middleton.
We played
is,
without Middleton for a lot.
I honestly think Middleton is going to stay, and I think Brooke Lopez at this point is a wild card. It's not a foregone.
Middleton's going to be like,
It's not a foregone conclusion
I'll
that he's
trade
going to
in that
sign.
$40 million for 3 years at $35 million each or so.
Yeah, it's going to be another one of those wait and sees.
But I got to get that clean bill of health for Middleton too. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want to
Been
see
hurt
him
the
limping
last 2
around.
years,
Yeah,
right?
and that's really hurt us. We had a chance to defend our title or at least be back in the championship any of the last 2 years. But what was the common denominator? No healthy Chris Middleton. He's that important.
So as I open up Instagram, I see that Andre Drummond has exercised his
Yeah, he was talking about. They were talking about him not. He didn't want to sign.
3.36 million. That's pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, but he's not worth anything anymore.
No, I know. It's just I'm just looking to see if there were anything new that happened.
Hey, D Rose is available. The Knicks didn't pick up his $15 million
I'll take it.
option.
All right, so
I'll take him. I don't care. That's what
Knicks
my
got
favorite
Josh Hart exercised his 12.9 million option for 2023-24. So the New York he was a big part. He was an
And
integral
he'll have
part.
a whole year this year. He was a
He
good
was-
fit with them.
Yes, he was an integral part
They
in
didn't take him up on that.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll find out a lot tomorrow. Free agent begins tomorrow. Free agency, and
Usually we hear some deals that are already done, and Woj will be like, "This is going to happen." It's been kind of quiet, like saying something definite's going to happen.
yeah. Well,
This team's going to get that team. It's like tight-lipped.
the things a lot of the we mentioned most of the top free agents. There might be some small moves that happen, but those were the major ones that are really going to shift the power for the good or for the bad, depending on what happens. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll dive into some boxing.
Mega deal.
The huge 3-fight mega deal that Canelo Alvarez has announced, as well as we'll talk about the phenom Alyssa Thompson, and we'll talk about some NFL news as well. We're gonna pay some bills, but keep it locked right here to WNB1 Radio, and we'll be back in a minute.
Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated has been a leader in the school bus industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1980, Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated has provided the South Coast and surrounding areas of the Commonwealth transportation services ranging from private to contracted school bus and van services for corporate transportation. Specializing in school bus transportation, Reliable Bus Lines cares about your precious cargo. Our drivers are trained and certified and understand the importance of being on time and getting students to and from school safely. A staple in the greater New Bedford region, Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated is a women and minority-owned company. Our staff prides itself on being diverse, professional, and helpful. Call now to book your next outing, 508-992-0342. So come and take a ride with Reliable Bus, the bus you can trust. And don't forget to tell them that WNB1 Radio sent you.
Have you made that New Year's resolution to get into shape and you still haven't followed through with it? Then you need to join KO Gym.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
KO Gym is located at 50 Conduit Street in the north end of New Bedford, within the historic mills in a 5,000 square foot space, within plenty of room to train for social distancing, and the facility has unlimited parking outside. KO Gym offers exclusive training in Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, as well as strength and conditioning programs. So if you're looking to train to get into shape to train for self-defense, or if you're looking to train to compete professionally, KO Gym has experienced professional staff to help you attain your goal. They also offer one-on-one personal training as well as group classes to satisfy everyone's needs. So go ahead and let KO Gym help you make that change for a healthy body and a healthy mind. And also tell them that WMB1 Radio made the referral.
See if they're frozen, you throw it at somebody in the kitchen. Ow! Throw them on the ground in the kitchen. Put on you.
Ah, yes. Spring is in the air, and if you're looking to get cleaning done the right way, then Newbie Cleaning is a cleaning service for you. Newbie Cleaning is licensed, insured, bonded, and a locally owned residential and commercial cleaning business which has over 50 years experience providing quality cleaning services in all of Bristol County. Did we mention that they provide services for homes, schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, restaurants, post-construction cleanups, and after-party cleanups? Newbie Cleaning has customized packages that tailor to deep cleaning, whether you're moving into a new home, moving out of an old home, or you simply want that vacation home clean. Newbie Cleaning is flexible in booking appointments weekly, bi-weekly, monthly,
Must be like 2 years ago. I know they said they
one-time
changed
clean. Newbie Cleaning takes pride in the level of service in which they provide, so they have a higher level of cleaning experience that they can add to a business to ensure that they are up to code and compliant with cleaning regulations. You can rest assured that once they clean a service location, all products and equipments are used solely for that location only. No mop or no rag is used and transferred to another location where germs can be spread. They pride themselves on quality service, and they do the same with their employees by offering competitive wages as well as flexible schedules. Remember, cleaning service is the perfect gift for realtors looking for closing gifts or for showing your appreciation by helping someone take a break. No job is too big or too small for Newbie Cleaning Service. So give them a call at 508-974-4815 or visit their website at www.newbie-cleaning.com. And be sure to mention that
And then we'll bring it to the team and say, which one do we think is best for? And he did that with the violinist. None of us knew who that was. And
if you're facing criminal charges or were involved in an accident resulting in a personal injury, call John B. C. today. As a former prosecutor turned defense attorney, John C. has
or email them at yeswecanpainting@gmail.com, and also tell them that your friends here at WMU1 Radio sent you.
Welcome back to WNB1 Radio, and you're here with us on Straight to the Point Sports. And as always, phone lines are open 774-425-2631. That is the number in which you can call to discuss anything you'd like, whether it's something that we talked about in the past or something that you think that we may have missed and you want to get on the line and let us know about it. Okay, moving forward. We got a little news going on in the world of boxing. Canelo Alvarez got a 3-fight mega deal. You want to talk about that, Steve?
Yeah, well, Dazn has offered him a 3-fight, $100 million guaranteed deal. And
Wait, you sure it was Dazzin?
yeah,
It wasn't the P.
Premier Boxing Network.
I think it was the.
I think it's in conjunction with them, but it's going to be.
Whoops, I could be wrong, but I thought it was the PBC.
But it's definitely on. I'll look it up. But anyway, it's three fights, $100 million. The first fight is in September, confirmed against Mr. Chalo, who is he the one that's been inactive, or is he the one that
he's been inactive?
He's the one that hasn't fought in 2 years,
Yep.
hasn't been stripped of his title, talks all kind of nonsense. But for somebody who hasn't fought, he's been waiting for this cash cow to drop forever. So he's first up. And if Canelo gets past that fight, supposedly David Benavidez is next, which is why I think Benavidez turned down that David Morrell fight. But then the third fight, if he gets through those two, is against hometown favorite Boo Boo Andrade.
Maybe.
But yes, now it's going to slash Boo Boo Andrade, Errol Spence if he beats Crawford, because Spence has made it known that he wouldn't. That would be enough time for him to move up and challenge at that weight. He could put on a couple of pounds safely and fight Canelo at a weight.
He was saying that's his normal walk around weight, so he'd be able to handle it.
Yeah, but Canelo's normal walk around weight is probably.
Oh no, it's definitely
higher.
But
so, what do we think about those three fights? Do we have any merit? The only one I'm guaranteed that I'm going to say will definitely happen is the first one, because Brian brought it up. What if he loses?
That's I said that. Like, what if Canelo gets knocked out by Charlo?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously,
them guys are going to want to fight.
Canelo's going to want a rematch clause, like Brian was saying.
Yeah. But, so now two of those 3 fights in that 3-fight deal become. So one of them guys got to get bumped, and all of them have been waiting. But I don't like this new wave of boxing, like we always talk about. Everybody's afraid to lose. Everybody's holding out for that major payday, and right now that only major payday is Canelo, because he's the cash cow. So we're being robbed of some of the great fights. I would love to see Boo Boo and Charlo fight. I've been waiting for that forever.
A lot of bad blood right there.
Morrell and Benavidez are proving themselves. Yeah. There's a lot of but none of them guys, to me, I honestly 100% believe that's why the Morrell and Benavidez fight fell apart, because Benavidez wants to preserve his opportunity to fight Canelo, even if it's not this fight, next fight. But I can't take a risk of fighting Morrell. Yeah, because if I lose, my cash cow's out the way.
Yeah, if I lose, I'm not getting that fight.
And Charlo hasn't fought in 2 years.
That's why he went with him first.
Yeah. All that
save
ring
the
rust.
Save the bet.
But 3 fights for $100 million, and like I said, that Charlo fight's the only one I can see that's 100% guaranteed. And like Brian was and you guys were saying, I guarantee there's a rematch clause if he loses. So even if Charlo wins, which I don't think he will, if he does somehow win, that rematch clause will get invoked, and that'll help Charlo the best, because he'll get 2 shots at the cash cow. You know?
Yeah, he's in a good spot right now, unfortunately.
But then one of those other fights go by the wayside. There's only a 3-fight deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, for Boo Boo, he has to hope that it goes ABC and there's no interruptions. And but even if it goes to somebody ABC, in that time, even if it goes
significant,
even if it goes ABC, it's AB. C is on the back burner.
It could that C might be Spence.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And unfortunately for Boo Boo, he's not getting any younger. Times passing, and so are the years. And something has to happen, as you said. He may, unfortunately, it's like no one wants to fight him. He's in the unenviable spot of being that
He's a
guy
big risk.
that may be
Is that dangerous
too
southpaw?
risky. And
Crafty.
I wish somebody would just, a big name in boxing would advocate for him and like go hard for him, and someone would give him that chance. It would be great to see.
I wish there was an old-fashioned tournament. Take the top 4 and make them fight it out. But because of all the governing bodies, they'd never agree.
Nah,
WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF.
the powers that be are all guilty for wanting to prolong the champs belts. They want the easiest. They want let's put it this way. They want the most money, and they want to be able to handpick their fighters.
Yep.
And this has been going on for far too long. And it's, quite frankly, it's ruining boxing. It's ruining boxing. And I hate to sound repetitive, but this is why up until I would say up until last year, or I won't even say last year. I should say this year. MMA has, boxing has always been here. MMA is doing this because of the fact that there's one governing body in MMA.
To see the best
we're
fights.
seeing the fights that people want to see.
There's one governing body. There is one solo person who determines who's going to fight who. And there's no, let's just, I'm the champ. I'm going to, no, Dana White says you're going to fight this guy and it's going to happen. This is how boxing used to be. But now everybody wants these, as you can see, these mega deals where they're going to, okay, I'm going to sign on with this one. I'm going to sign on with that one. I'm going to take a mega deal, but I'm not going to fight mega people. It's, I get to choose. And it's ruining boxing, and it's a shame. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I wish they would go on, but everybody wants to own their brand, and they want their brand to last. They want it to go over periods of years so they can continually get paid. But yet they don't want to fight the top fighters.
They want to get paid for fighting nickel and dime people. But they want
top dollar.
The pay-per-view prices don't go down, but the quality of the fights do.
Pay-per-view prices been going up.
They go up.
That's my point.
I bet you that the Spence Crawford is no lower than $85, $90.
So but that will be worth it. Some of the other ones, I can't see these lopsided.
No, I agree, but like if I'm not mistaken, the Davis Garcia was at 75. I think that was 75.
I don't pay for it. So.
I don't either. But
I don't pay for it.
But
I'll say it on you. I don't pay for it.
$75. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, it's like you said. It's like they're not top. You're not seeing a champ fight a champ, and yet they want you to pay top dollar. Okay, so I'm seeing a champ fight against a number 6 ranked guy. So can I get that price? Can I?
What's a number 6 contender getting these days?
Yeah, I almost feel like Chris Rock when he went into "I'm going to get you sucking." He said, "How much can I get for
2 wings?
How much can I get for $1.75?
How about just one wing?
Yeah, just one wing. What is a number 6 contender worth? You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not worth top dollar, but this is what they're asking.
He's getting it.
I know. And it's shame on the consumer.
We keep supporting
you keep supporting
lackluster talent they're throwing out there,
and people will continue to go through the gates. People will continue to purchase online, and this is what's driving these fights.
You don't want to be that guy that misses out.
Might see something in history, but I mean they're doing a good job marketing, but we're not seeing the best fights out there. There's not one fight that I'm clamoring to see in the UFC that hasn't already been made.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's an up-and-coming guy who hasn't got their shot yet. And once they're deserving, that guy gets his shot. So it's a shame because boxing was one of my favorite all-time sports to view. And now the political aspect of it and, the political games and the money games, I don't look forward to it no more. I'm still waiting for something to happen where Spence and Crawford gets canceled because I can't believe that fight's going to happen.
Stop talking like that. Sir.
No, but how many times has it been set up?
Talking like that.
Well, I mean, keep your fingers crossed because these erroneous injuries come about and it could get pushed back further
We're a month
or
away.
canceled or
Spiral.
canceled. Something.
Spiral.
Something always seems to come about.
Crawford broke his fingernail.
Yeah. Anything more that we want to add before we move on from the Canelo 3 fight mega deal?
In boxing, I think that's the hot topic right now. Everything else is wait and see for the reasons we mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving forward. Alyssa Thompson, phenom.
Whoa.
Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this
How
phenom?
old she is and what she's accomplishing?
The things that she's doing right now.
18 years old.
That's crazy. She missed her graduation and her prom.
And her prom because she was drafted number 1 overall in the women's professional league. So people say, I don't know if she was ready.
And that was the first.
Yeah.
So she is like the Moses Malone of her era during soccer.
Yeah.
Wait.
Except she was drafted number 1.
For soccer, maybe, yeah. Because Jennifer Capriati was tennis.
Yeah, but them girls went pro at 14 and 15.
What's the kid? What was the black kid?
Black kid.
I remember him.
He was 16 years old.
Yeah. He didn't pan out to be as good as everybody thought he was going to be, though.
No.
They put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I have to weigh back and forth. But this girl, she's 18. She was the number 1 pick. She scored 17 minutes into her first professional game, so she ended all controversy of whether she belonged talent-wise.
She basically LeBron James them in her first game.
Yep. And then she got picked to the women's national soccer team, the World Cup team, at 18 years old.
So that was pretty much first for everything.
Yep. She's already signed to Nike. She has a huge Nike deal right now. So it must be nice to be 18 years old and life's looking that rosy for you. You already got your number 1 pick for the pro league. You don't have to worry about college and nothing else. You're already playing for the Olympic soccer team, which is probably one of the most high-profile teams in all of sports. And you already got a huge Nike deal.
So it comes with high expectations.
She has to.
We've seen former so-called phenoms that were anointed and they wilted under the pressure. I just recently watched one on 30 for 30 at the beginning of the week. I was bored. It was Monday night, and I'm like, what's on? Let me see what's on. 30 for 30. The kid that played, he was considered the Dominican
Felipe Lopez.
Felipe Lopez.
He went to St. John's.
Yes, the next coming of. He was supposed to be the next coming of the Dominican Michael Jordan.
Actually, him, Allen Iverson, and Chris Herron all came to the Big East at the same time.
Yeah. And you go from, it's unfortunate because the
hype machine,
the hype that was put on him, and unfortunately he didn't live up to those expectations. He kind of leveled out in college. Actually, his first year was good, and then he leaps and bounds backwards into his second year, and didn't make the NCAAs till his senior season, and lost in the first round.
His numbers weren't good early on.
No, but still got drafted. Still got drafted into the league.
Still had the potential.
He
didn't live up to the college expectations.
He still got drafted, and it's. I shouldn't say it's funny, but when you sit back and you watch it, he was playing for Sacramento, and it showed where he jumped, he caught a pass, and Paul Pierce. He happened to be playing against the Celtics. Paul Pierce jumped in front of him. He went to go change directions, and he blew out his knee. That was the end of his pro career after 5 years, bouncing around from team to team to team. But he's gone on to do some great things over in the Dominican Republic. He's considered the Dominican god out there. The stuff that he does as a humanitarian, he goes and he lives out there relentlessly, and he's always giving back to the community. Food. He sets up food drives for all the If you know, obviously, you know the Dominican is always in the eye of the storms of the hurricane path. They're one of the islands that are constantly in the eye of a lot of the storms. And whenever there's federal relief, or whenever there's relief needed, he always finds a way to get food, whether it's from the states or within, to help, and he's always there, which I can't say enough about him. How he put it into perspective was basically, listen, I may not have been that guy on the court, but I am that guy in my country. Whenever someone sees him, he's like considered. When you think about it, right? You think about all the Dominican athletes that came over. He's considered right in line with all of them, and that's a testament for the things that he's done off the court in his hometown. So sometimes being a young phenom isn't all cracked out to be. Some people have it and they can roll with it. Other people they can't. They just go rogue. Jabari Parker was one, right?
Oh yeah.
He was one. Let's talk about him. He was coming out. He was one of the most highly recruited players. Goes and goes into Duke, and then he rolls over and goes into the NBA and just leveled out. Not everybody is going to have that trajectory where it just goes up. Some people are going to have the trajectory where it just goes flat
That
lines.
crazy kid from the one that Michael Jordan drafted to the Wizards.
Kwame Brown.
Yeah, Kwame Brown.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was considered.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The list can go on and on and on. To me, if you make it to the league, you've won.
Yeah.
You've won. Because the chances
first contract.
the chances of somebody making it to the NBA, literally like it's one in every like 375,000. It's the numbers are strong.
That's why it
They're
amazes
crazy.
me when people from the same family both make it to the
Yeah.
NBA. I'm like, wow, the
Yeah.
numbers are so scarce. And
The Thompson twins, back to
yeah,
back
yeah.
in the lottery. In the
Oh,
lottery.
their parents are real happy.
Yeah.
That money slot is relatively the same, but four gets higher than five, but not that much more.
Yeah,
But
no,
they're set for life with their 3-year contracts.
So the let me see if I can get this correct. The lottery picks are 1 through 10,
1 through 14.
1 through 14. So 1 through 14, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
You're getting paid.
And then everything's slotted all the way to the end of
Yeah.
the first round. Guaranteed
You're-
money for 3 years with
you're-
an option for a fourth.
Yeah, you're getting paid. You've won. You've won. As so long as you don't end up in a situation like your guy.
Curry.
Ball. No. Let's go back to that.
Rose?
No. Got into a motorcycle accident.
Oh,
Derrick Rose.
no.
Oh, the quarterback?
That played basketball.
From Duke.
From Duke.
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
As so long as you don't let and Chicago did right by them,
Yeah.
by him. They could have voided his contract out.
Because it was in his
It
contract.
was in his contract.
It was in his contract. Don't ride motorcycles.
Yes, and he went out, and he talks about that quite often too. When he's on radio, but it's one of those things where you're, like I said, you're a phenom, and if you can make it to the highest level, then you've made it. The playbook doesn't have to say you have to be a Michael Jordan.
No.
If you can make it to that level of competition, whether it's in basketball, baseball, football, soccer, tennis, golf, whatever the case may be, if your name is talked about into that draft, you're becoming a part of history. That's the way I see it. And if you can get through a contract, then that's a bonus.
Yep.
Um,
Any pro sport.
yeah.
Even if you don't make it in the NBA, now there's so many options. Go overseas, go down to the D League, whatever. There's other options where you can still make incredible money to play sports.
Yeah. Now, for me, like I said, if you, this young lady that we're talking about, I hope she does well. There's a lot of added
I
pressure.
hope she has a bunch of good business people around her,
Yeah.
so she doesn't mess up her money early.
I just hope she don't get burnt out with all this stuff.
It's tough. It's tough.
But that's what happened with the tennis player you mentioned, right? Capriati.
Listen,
her parents were running her money.
Listen, and it's not the same as it was 20 years ago because social media follows you everywhere. Let's face it, social media could be an athlete's living hell, because they you have everything at the tips of your fingers with Google, with social media, being able to tweet, and tweets going viral, or reels going viral. It can, if you're that sensitive of a person, it really, really could do a number on
Like
you.
the young tennis player there. I mean, golf player. A female there.
Oriental lady.
Yeah, Oriental.
Yeah, I forgot her name. Yeah.
Ah, man, I forget. Like she pulled out a few tournaments because of
mental health. Yeah.
And somebody else I was going to mention too, Simone Biles.
Yeah, she just came back.
She's coming back in August.
Just came back. Yeah.
But she revealed mental illness and the stress of always expecting to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's the pressure that Brian was alluding to. Like anything short of a gold medal, anything short of the top performance, you're a failure.
Yeah.
You have to win and dominate all the time.
Yeah, so I'm I hope maybe we can in another 6 months, 9 months, so check back in on her, see how she's doing, how she's performing. I wish her nothing but the best, but that's a lot of weight on an 18-year-old.
The women's
shoulders.
professional league just started up, but they're on break because of the World Cup. So they'll resume their season when they come back. So we'll see how she does in the World Cup first, which is the highest stage.
Yeah,
I don't think she'll be starting, but Dennis Rodman's daughter was in the same boat 2 years ago, but this girl's supposed to be the best prospect in a while. Like how she manages that, and does she have that desire now that she's exposed to all this money? What's your motivation to keep trying to get better?
Yeah,
you got everything right now: the Nike contract, the women's national soccer team money, the number 1 draft pick money. You're probably getting a ton of endorsements from other people besides Nike.
Yeah, hopefully, moving forward, hopefully, like I said, I'd love to see her do well.
Congratulations to her.
Yes,
That's
congratulations.
an incredible accomplishment.
That is, to be a first in your sport, to do something like that. That's definitely, a lot to rave. Like I said, hopefully moving forward, she can balance and just have a good career. It's tough. It's tough, especially for an 18-year-old.
Longevity. That's what we need.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about. No, we don't want to talk about NBA free agency. We need to talk about NFL news. So NFL news. We know that.
And we're still better than the Lions.
Here we go.
Get that in before Derek said something dumb.
No, you're not.
So we know that. And moving forward with the NFL news. There's still some free agents out there that are floating around.
2 big ones.
Mostly the running backs.
Yeah.
2 big ones.
Yeah. We still got a big wide receiver out there.
Yeah.
That hasn't
and
made
you think
a decision.
That deal with Parker slowed that down? The Patriots just gave Parker
a
3-year contract.
$33 million.
Yeah, he's a big receiver, similar to what they get in Hopkins.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because the Patriots usually don't pay. We're not used to them paying their wide receivers.
He's another guy that can't stay healthy. I always thought he was talented, even with Miami, but always on the sideline.
Big body.
So Dalvin Cook has been rumored to
Miami.
be courted by the Miami Dolphins.
They said they made an official offer to him, but terms and numbers haven't been revealed. But they've also said that Denver and Buffalo are making offers or have made offers. And then I didn't know, the dark horse, those same Patriots. But the difference is you're from Miami, where it's nice and warm all year, and it's your hometown, and every other place is cold. So I think that might be a big factor. And out of those teams, I honestly think he should go to Buffalo or the Jets are in there too.
Why Buffalo?
The whole AFC, because Buffalo needs a dominant running game. They can't have Josh Allen.
It's cold.
Yeah, but they can't have Josh Allen be their best runner. Yeah, but
they give his brother a chance.
Yeah, his brother's not on the same level as him, but I think that takes so much pressure off of Allen and Diggs, and who knows what's going on in Diggs' head these days.
Another key component of what's going on in the NFL is the suspensions for betting.
They announced a
Suspensions.
few today,
Yeah. So
and some
Indianapolis
in
Colts.
performance
Indianapolis
enhancing.
Colts.
Yeah,
So
they
I've
lost
got the names
3.
ready. A handful of NFL players, including Colts cornerback and kick returner Isaiah Rogers, are expected to receive a season-long suspension this week for allegedly gambling.
That's what happened to Calvin Ridley last year.
Yes. You got another guy. The Titans' offensive tackle Nicholas Pettit Free is
That's
being
who I was
suspended
talking about.
6
Yeah.
games for violating the NFL's team's
Right.
gambling
But
policy.
he didn't bet on football, so I think that's why he only got
That's why
6.
That's
Right.
Why, that's why J-Mo got
Yeah.
6 because he
Yeah.
didn't bet on football.
So it's Isaiah Rogers and
2 other
Rasheed
Colts.
Berry
Yep.
of the Colts and free agent Demetrius Taylor are being suspended indefinitely to at least the 2023 season for betting on NFL games
And
last season.
They've all already been released by the Colts.
Yes.
They're like, we're not investing in somebody who can't help us. All those salaries will come off the books.
So Isaiah Rogers wages $1,000 prop bet
Yep.
on the over/under of rushing yards
For his
on
own
a
running
Colts
back.
running back. So they waived him. So it's like, you know what? I think betting and gambling is almost like a death sentence for those players. Can you be trusted now? That's a bad hit. It's a bad hit.
Supposedly the rule is just you can't bet on football and you can't bet within 3 miles of your facility. You know, you can't bet
My
on
thing
football.
is, why would you bet at all?
Well, why would the NFL take on FanDuel and all these betting sites? And that's like leaving a little kid in the candy store. You know, like the NFL is kind of contradicting themselves. Like I get they're taking the money, which is there's a lot of people. I'm back in the day, I had a gambling problem. You know, like had a bet on everything. You know, it gets very addictive.
Back in the day or last football season?
No, I didn't lose a lot last football season. I'm talking about when I was at Ocean Spray, me and Mark Farrier. Oh boy, we used to bet half our paychecks.
Hey, you're one of those guys throwing other people out there.
Just throw Mark Farrier under the bus.
No. Mark knows. me and Mark back in the day used to like to gamble a lot.
Yeah, you and Mark knew, and nobody else needed to know.
Now everybody knows.
Well, it didn't ruin our lives or anything, but it was still a wake up call to say, you know, it was getting bigger than what we could control because once you lose, you want to start chasing. But the NFL is taking money from these gambling sites, FanDuel, DraftKings. They're legalizing betting, and then they're saying, "Oh, but you guys stay far away."
Yeah,
if it's good enough to be a sponsor, if you want to stay away from the image of gambling, don't have them as your sponsors.
I kind of disagree with that because you're making wads and wads of money. What are you? Let's go back to this guy.
And
right?
you're betting $1,000.
$1,000.
Well, he's not making. He doesn't have a Supermax contract.
He didn't have a Supermax contract, but $1,000 really? Is that really going to change your life? $1,000? But guess what? Betting $1,000 and getting caught is going to change your life. I mean,
it's cost yourself millions.
Yes,
million.
You got to learn. You got to learn to put things in perspective. I mean, the average Joes that are sitting here right now, you know, I'd much rather take his salary than bet on $1,000 prop.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'd love to change up positions with him, but you know, it's a sobering reality.
Rush.
Guess what? The adrenaline rush is going to take you. It might have took your ass right out the league.
But you know what replaced that in my mind for me personally? When fantasy football came out, because I got the same fantasy rush. I mean, I got the same rush that I was trying to win, but nowhere near the risk.
That's part of the thing, though. These football players can't even do fantasy anymore
because it involves gambling.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
There's no fantasy.
Because there was somebody who was real good. Hey, Brian Alford, man, my old college boy.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that you gotta sit there and figure out what is more valuable. You know, a single bet or my NFL career, because I guarantee you these guys,
whatever he would have made on that bet, he's probably making more.
That's when people have too much access to disposable money and they look for ways to flip it. And a lot of these guys make bad business decisions, bad gambling decisions.
I'm just in awe to see $1,000 prop bet. I'm more inclined to just say, hey, you know what? I can cover you. I bet you won't catch the special. Want to bet $1,000? to my, if I'm a defensive
You
back,
have more control over that
if
situation.
if I'm a defensive back, hey, you know what? Best wide receiver, I'll go up to him and say, I bet you $1,000 I won't let you catch his pass. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I know I'm not that guy, but I know I would value my NFL career more, especially seeing what happened the year before to a high name,
Yeah, somebody more high profile than
to
any
a
of these
high
guys.
profile guy,
A whole year.
a whole year. That would be enough for me. As soon as I pick up that slip, I'd be like, nope.
So you know,
I'd run, hey, yo, Steve, check this out. Go. I'll send you a text. Go place this bet for me.
You don't even want to put it in text because
yeah, they can find
they
that.
can look at that.
But you can
Don't
make
do it
bets.
directly.
You can make bets.
Not from
You
the
just can't do it
facility
from the facility
and on your
or
own team.
On your own team.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, listen, if I'm that much of a junkie, I'll go to the casino. Blackjack.
It's just crazy because how easy it is now, how available. Before you
yeah,
had to find the bookies,
it's at the tip of your finger.
and those props are crazy. Like the first bet you see every day, like Super Bowl bets, they have the most, the coin flip.
Yeah.
You have no control over the flip going heads or tails. You just know you got a 50% chance
It's more than 50%
because heads comes up more.
That's right.
It's weighted more.
It is. It's weighted more. It is weighted more. It's a proven fact. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, man, I can't get. I don't know. It's mind-boggling for me. I every time you think you see stupid, you see stupid error, and it just continues. I don't know. It
What
continues.
would happen if DraftKings was around when MJ played?
Yeah,
we know I just watched that last night.
I did too.
Yeah, I watched it. I
was
watch every
very
time
bored.
it comes on.
I was very bored. Nowadays, it's either
sure did.
It's either flip a coin and watch the Red Sox lose, or watch reruns on the NFL Network, or put it on ESPN, 30 for 30, or whatever's on. So this is what it's come to. Yeah, and we know that Jordan loved to gamble. It showed it right there. He was betting, tossing dimes.
Was it affecting his daily
quarters
life
or whatever it was?
When y'all making the type, they even said it on the 30 for 30 last night. He'd be in the back of the plane with all the high rollers, right? They're betting $1,000 a hand, and then BJ Armstrong and all them guys are in the front playing $1 a hand, and he had to come over because he said, "I just want your money in my pocket. I just want to prove I can take your money."
And he even said it. He said, "I love to gamble." And my gambling consists. My gambling consisted of betting on golf games. All right, so there's no correlation on him betting on himself,
right?
Or another game.
He had to write a $57,000 check.
Yeah,
because and that dude was under investigation.
Yeah, federal. But he came out and admitted, listen, do I have a problem? No, I don't have a problem. If I had a problem, I'd be hawking my rings. I wouldn't be living in a house.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't affect him because of the money he was making on the court, off the court.
So he admitted
10 different endorsements.
He openly admitted, do I like to bet? Yes, I like to bet. The extent of my gambling is basically betting on golf games, because that was his passion. He believed that he was a good golf player. And I think a lot of people, just as he may have thought he was a good baseball player, he probably wasn't as good of a golf player as he thought he was. Hence a lot of people like, yeah, I can win about 30 grand off of Mike Easy. Let's go run 18. I'm going to run his pockets. But in his mind, highly competitive.
In everything he did.
Highly competitive,
even
because
checkers, they said.
He took it right from the basketball court, and it would transcend to anything. Like we watched in the documentary, pitching quarters.
Yeah.
One of the guys at the one of the ushers.
Yep.
Beat
him on the first pitch.
He said, $20. I throw one, you can throw four.
Yeah. So it was the competitive nature in him that led him to believe that no matter what it was, he could exceed at it. And he obviously had the financial backing to make some of those bets. And it didn't, that one series where they played against the Knicks. Was it against the Knicks? Yeah, they went to
Jersey.
Atlantic City.
yeah,
He
Atlantic
said he had to
City
get away
with his
from.
dad.
Yep.
And he
And
said,
I
yeah,
believe that.
They
Didn't
were
want
down
to.
2-0.
yeah, they were down
They were
2-0.
down 2-0.
And that's when he went on his boycott of the media for
Sports Illustrated.
yeah,
The media.
the media. He went for 3 weeks because Ahmad Rashad broke the silence. He said, "Okay, it's about time. Go get a camera. Let's get it over with. Let's get it out the way. I'm sick of hearing about it. So this would be one less distraction I have to worry about."
And he would only do it with Ahmad
Yeah,
Rashad, nobody else.
yeah,
Well, you trusted him.
trust somebody that you can
I
trust.
know what you're going to
That,
ask.
that-
This is what I'm
that's not going
prepared
to
to answer.
spin something or surprise you with something. It was a trusted confidant, and that went a long way. But yeah, for this whole betting thing, let this be a lesson to future, future players coming up. Don't put your career on the line, because I firmly believe that this may be a death sentence for some of these guys.
Yeah.
Especially the guys who were
Low on the totem
low on the
pole.
totem pole.
Right.
That's what's it. So it's like, wait a second, this guy already isn't good, but yet he might bring extended, unwarranted attention to the team.
And he might influence other people to make the same decisions he's
Yes.
making.
The 2 guys that got suspended from Detroit, they're not going to find another team.
No. That's the thing. If you're already on the cusp and you're making a fatal mistake like that, that's a death sentence for you. It's a shame to say, but it's the truth. And it's unfortunate. It's a sobering lesson that you're going to have to learn. And let it be a lesson for the up and coming players. Stay away from the betting. Abide by the rules. It's real simple.
You can bet, just don't bet on the NFL.
Yeah.
It's not in the facility.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you shouldn't be doing in the facility. But yeah, betting is one of them. It's a no-no. I mean, and listen, if you think that they're not tied into all these places, kind of reminds me of prison. All right. So I'll give you a scenario. Okay. A lot of these, so basically, when you're in the NFL, they want all access to all your phone numbers, because you can call in bets, right? When you work inside the prison, you have to sign a disclaimer that you have to give your cell number and your home number, because you can't have any calls coming into an inmate. Okay, you can't have any calls coming into an inmate. And unfortunately, there were some family members in which somebody thought, "Oh, I could call," and uh, 7 days down the road, "Hey, we need to talk to you. Your name came up on a bop on an inmate. What are you doing calling them?" Now you're in the wrong.
They got to call you. Yeah.
No. Your name cannot be on their call list, and you cannot call in to an inmate. It works both ways. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and they have access to all these. They know anything associated with your name. They're going to investigate. Some people think, "Oh, I can get a burner phone. I can do this, I can do that." It's only a matter of time before they catch up with that too. Because you have to put a name in on it. And hey, it's just one of those things. But let it be a lesson for all young, and let it be a lesson for all NFL players, because there might be some veterans that might pull a jerk move like that too. One never knows. But if you're in the National Football League, it could stand for not for long if you get caught doing that. So stay away, guys. Just stay away. Just bet on another sport. Abide by the rules. All right. With that being said, we've come to another end and closing to Straight to the Point Sports. But as we know, this is a big upcoming weekend, right?
Cape Verdean Pride.
Cape Verdean Parade, the 51st annual Cape Verdean Parade, is taking place this weekend, as well as a weekend to celebrate the Cape Verdean independence. And if you are in the southeastern Massachusetts area or beyond, if you've migrated away, chances are you probably are coming back this weekend to take part in some form or fashion of the celebration of Cape Verdean Independence Day weekend, which goes on. A lot of great festivities going off. The the parade is going to kick off, start off everything at 11 o'clock. And we are proud to announce that we will be on a float. WMB1 Radio will be on a float. We're going to decorate it nice. We're going to have music on it. We're going to have some surprises thrown out. We're not going to tell you, but we're going to have some good stuff that we're throwing out besides candy. So if you see us, just know that we're going to be throwing out some good stuff. So be there. Also, what we're going to talk about, uh, we need to talk about the Peterborough
Basketball tournament.
basketball class.
Yeah, that's
Sir.
legendary.
8 teams this year.
8 teams. Going to be, I forget what time it's going to be.
12:30.
12:30.
Saw Brian post it yesterday.
Yeah, I did see it.
Finals will be at 7:30.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
I hope the lights go on this year. Last year we were out there with flashlights during the championship. The city messed with them.
Yeah,
It's been going on. So
we gotta go and watch all the local talent and the talent abroad that comes down and takes place every year at Monty's Park. Should be a good time. And not only that,
team lit. Let's go.
to experience the Cape Verdean culture, the food, the music, the atmosphere, everything is great about it. And I wish
Beautiful
I wish it were more than just the one day.
It used to be a 2-day.
Back when they had the pageants and all that stuff the same weekend.
I wish it could go on for an entire weekend. Like the Portuguese feast that goes on for a full week.
Yeah, that's not
4
perfect,
days.
but they still make that happen.
That's a lot. That's pretty much a lot, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're in the area, go down to the south end and just get into all of it. There's a lot of good things going down there. There'll be a lot of vendors selling clothing, food, everything. And it's just to get the experience.
Just the atmosphere and ambiance of it. Take it all in. I mean, I'm down there supposedly watching the basketball games, which I enjoy, but then you're catching up with people that don't live around here no more, and you're engaging in the Cape Verdean culture and the food and hanging out with your friends. Next thing you know, they're talking about championship game. You're like, wait a minute, who's playing in the championship? I don't even remember watching the first game.
A lot of different pops.
Oh man,
Barry, what did we gloss over? I don't know. I thought I answered your
perfect game.
your perfect game. You know what? We're sorry. Let's give flowers to the New York Yankees. Their pitcher, what was his name?
Germán from Dominican Republic,
who pitched a perfect game. What was it? The 25th or 24th perfect game. And what, the fourth by a Yankee?
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yes,
it was the fourth by a Yankee.
It was the fourth by a Yankee. Listen, I'm trying to get this right, Barry. This is for you. Who pitched a perfect game yesterday?
Double-A Oakland.
Listen,
I'm just messing with you, Barry.
Listen, a perfect game is a perfect game,
albeit
albeit
great accomplishment.
Albeit the guy got caught cheating before. But it was a perfect game. Okay. It was kind of comical when he got caught too, because he's like, where? Oh, where? It's all over your hat. It's all over your hat.
That was the guy with it on his neck, was it?
It was all over the place. You pick your poison. But listen, a perfect game is a perfect game. It happened in the majors. Congrats to him. He gets his flowers. Sorry we glossed over it. It is one of the bright spots that the Yankees have going for them, because
they're like in third place in the 14 division, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you get your flowers. Sorry we forgot that. We're addressing it now. And with that being said, still go down and support the Cape Verdean Independence Day, which will be happening Saturday. The weather's supposed to be kind of overcast, but I think the rain's supposed to hold off until the nighttime.
It's not supposed to rain until at night. Hopefully.
Yeah, and even if you guys ain't doing nothing today, there's a nice poetry jam being done at the Verdean Vets Hall that our own Charlie Perry's taking part in, put on by Eric Andre.
Spoken word.
7 to 11, I believe. So if you guys want to see some quality poetry done by a lot of local artists that are very talented, head down to Verdean Vets Hall. Go support them.
Yeah, it's going on right now. They got a lot of Cape Verdean poets down there, spoken word poets, both male and female. So it's a big to do. It's basically kicking off the weekend with that right there happening at the Verdian Vets. And I believe Friday night, Mark Dice is going to be down
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Friday
And
night, Mark Dice is going to be down there with the classic old school jam going
get
on
there
Friday
early.
night. Going down, that happens every year down at the Vets. So that's something also that you can look into and do. And once again, don't miss us. We're going to be on that float. It's going to be hard to miss. WMB1 Radio, everything is going to be down there. So make sure you go and check it out. With that being said, oh wait, one more thing, right? So we've got one our inaugural summer series event that we do at the Harbor Hotel. We had that this last weekend. We are moving on to July 14th. We have another one scheduled where we have American Idol former contestant Teddy Matthews. If you know, he's a Wareham native, was on American Idol, along with Megan Sylvia,
Yep.
who
Mom
is
Karen, who's retiring tomorrow.
yes,
Congratulations, Karen.
who she sings along with Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got a comedian.
Oh, Marlon Baker.
We also got a comedian on.
If you've been to our shows, you know who Marlon Baker is. Don't miss your
Listen.
chance to see him up close and personal.
Listen, I'm not advocating because he's on our card, but Marlon is a funny dude. Everyone always leaves in stitches. Trust me, he's a funny dude. Well worth the price of admission. Go down and check it out. And then once that's done, we turn into an after party. We're going to have the WMB1 DJs spinning some nice, smooth R&B and to just enjoy the night. It's a great place. If you haven't been, Harbor Hotel, right downtown, smack downtown. It's right on the corner of Pleasant and Union.
222
Right
Union
there,
Street.
222 Union Street. Great atmosphere, nice place, good food. Couldn't ask for a better place to hold an event. So, reminder.
We got tickets.
That's right. We got tickets. Tickets are in advance. So it's going to be 15 in advance, 20 at the door. And unlike our comedy shows, we don't have a lot of space. We probably have half the space. You know, we go from a 300 capacity venue to half of that, 150. So grab your tickets. Grab your tickets early because this is going to sell out. It's going to sell out, no doubt. With that being said, we're going to sign off, and we hope to see you this Saturday, somewhere along the parade road. If not, we'll see you next Thursday here at WMB1 Radio.
WMB1 Radio.
And Straight to the Point Sports. Until then, we're out, and we hope to see everyone at the parade. All right? We are out. Peace.
Hey.
Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated has been a leader in the school bus industry for over